Hello dear students, today the topic of our lesson is the Carew murder case. In today's video, we will discuss these topics: about the author, summary of the lesson, words meanings and questions answers. This lesson is the fourth chapter of the novel The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish novelist, essayist, poet, and travel writer. He is best known for works such as Treasure Island, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Kidnapped, and A Child's Garden of Verses. He was born on 13th November 1850 in Edinburgh, United Kingdom, and died on 3rd December 1894. His famous poems are A Child's Garden of Verses, My Shadow, and Lamplighter. His hit movies are Return to Treasure Island and Treasure Island. This lesson is the fourth chapter taken from the famous novella The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Stevenson's descriptions are detailed and the language is formal. It is important to discuss the events with the students to check their understanding. Students need to have a good understanding of the characters and events. So, the comprehension questions need discussion while reading or before reading. The summary of the lesson. This chapter starts almost after the gap of 1 year, and it shows the details of the murder of Sir Denver Carew, a well-known and highly respected London gentleman. The scene opens with a maid who witnesses a murder in the street, where she sees a small, evil-looking man whom she recognizes as Mr. Hyde. Hyde suddenly turns on the victim with a stick, beating him to death. The police find a letter addressed to Utterson on the dead body. He identifies the body as Sir Denver Carew's. Utterson accompanies the police to a poor part of the town. Utterson thinks about how strange it is that a man who lives in such squalor is the heir to Henry Jekyll's fortune. The suspected murderer is not at home. The police find the murderer's weapon and the burnt remains of Hyde's checkbook. Upon a subsequent visit to the bank, the police inspector learns that Hyde still has an account there. The officer assumes that he needs only wait for Hyde to go and withdraw money. Even after many weeks, no sign of Hyde turns up. He has no family and no friends. Those who have seen him are unable to give accurate descriptions. They agree only on the evil aspect of his appearance. Word meanings. The first word is startled. It means shocked, frightened. The second word is ferocity. Ferocity means the state or quality of being cruel or violent. Conceived. Formed an idea, imagined or thought. Clinched. Confirmed. Ill-contained. It means ill-poised, not properly controlled or handled. Clubbed him to the earth. It means attacked him. Fury, rage, anger. Connoisseur. It means an expert in judging what is considered fashionably tasteful. Next is dingy. Dingy means dark and gloomy. Disinterred, dug up, discovered. Fanciful, full of imagination or thoughts. Odious. Odious means hateful or extremely unpleasant. Singular, unique, sterling, British currency, trifle, ordinary or little bit, umber, it means dark yellow brown color. Now questions and answers. Question 1. What phrase does the author use at the start to show the reader that time has passed? The phrase nearly a year later is used by the author to show the reader that time has passed. Question 2. Who were the two men involved in the crime and how did the witness feel about each of them? The two men involved in the crime were the victim Sir Danvers Carew and the criminal Mr. Hyde. The maid did not like Mr. Hyde. She admired the old gentleman for his very pretty manner of politeness and his face, which to her seemed so innocent and full of kindness. Question 3. Which type of animal is the angry murderer compared to? The angry murderer is compared to an ape. What is Mr. Utterson's profession? By profession, Mr. Utterson is a lawyer. Question 5. What was Mr. Utterson's reaction to hearing about the crime and seeing the weapon? Mr. Utterson quailed when he heard about the crime and saw the weapon. He looks serious and feels gloomy. Question 6. Why will it be difficult for the inspector and Mr. Utterson to find Mr. Hyde? It would be difficult for the inspector and Mr. Utterson to find Mr. Hyde because few people knew him and he had no family, had never been photographed, had not been seen often, and was described in widely different ways by those who had seen him. Question 7. What do we learn about the old woman who works for Mr. Hyde? She is described as an older woman who had an evil face, smoothed by hypocrisy, but her manners were excellent. She has a flash of hateful joy on her face when she realizes that Mr. Hyde might be in trouble. Question 8. Which word, meaning searched vigorously, is used to describe the state of Mr. Hyde's rooms? The word ransacked is used to describe the state of Mr. Hyde's room. Question 9. What details are given in the text that show us the witness's character? Pick out 3 pieces of evidence and explain what they tell us about her character. The maid is sensitive, but she also seems to be dramatic and to have a vivid imagination. It appears that she may be prone to exaggeration and perhaps after some time she views the incident as somewhat exciting. Some pieces of evidence are: 1. She was fanciful. It means she was over-imaginative and unrealistic. 2. She fell into a dream of music. This shows her deep thought. 3. With streaming tears when she narrated that experience. It suggests that she exaggerates the impact and enjoys telling this dramatic story, but it could be that it had a big impact on her. Dear students, this is the end of the lesson. Thank you very much. Goodbye.